Well, hello and welcome on in, hockey fans, to East Hampton, New York. We're not heading to the beach this morning. Instead, we're at the Buckskill Winter Club, and we have a state-bound game between the Peconic Wildcats and the New York City Raiders. Wildcats coming into this game having gone 3-3 in their last 6, and they've taken down a few AA teams in that 3-3 record. The Raiders won a close one last night up in Cantona, New York at Harvey School against the Bedford Bears. They won 6-5 on the back of a late third period Sam Berliner goal. This will be the second matchup between these two teams this morning. It's not this morning, excuse me, this season, with the Raiders having taken the first matchup at City Ice Pavilion by a score of 10-1. A programming note for you: stick around here on Midnight Sports in the early evening at 4:45 as the New York City Cyclone 16U girls team takes on Beaver Dam in another outdoor game, this one at Beaver Dam Sports Club in Locust Valley, New York. But first, keep it right here as the Raiders get set to take on the Wildcats in East Hampton, New York. Puck drop for period one coming up next after we visit with our first sponsor today. Well, looks like that's going to be on hold for just a second here as we get set with the pucks in the net. Looks like we've got Coach Marchuka and Coach Gosler on the bench today, and both teams will collect around their nets to pick up the remaining pucks and go over some last second strategy. I believe it'll be Jason Bricker in goal today for the Raiders, and we'll see who Coach Marchuka and Coach Gosler throw out there for the starting lineup. Now, it's a beautiful rink in this outdoor game here today, out on the edge of Long Island. The sun's shining, a few shadows on the near edge of the ice. Ice is so fresh, the lines haven't even been painted out here. I have them on the walls. So we'll get set here in just a second. Maybe we do have time to check in with that sponsor. Annoyances. Today's game on Midnight Sports is made possible by Humble Braggers. Hockey fans, have you ever had a conversation ruined by some faux modest one-upper? You know the type. You'll tell a colleague where you went on vacation, and someone else will make a beeline for you like Yogi Bear to a picnic basket, just to let you know they went to the same place a few times. But they didn't like it as much as an exotic vacation they were fortunate enough to take. Or perhaps you know someone who prefaces every good thing that happens to them with the phrase, "We're so lucky," or "We're just blessed to be able to." And if you tell them to stop, you'll be the bad guy. It's Humble Braggers. Their self-worth is directly proportional to your patience. All right, we're getting set here for period one puck drop. It's Don Bizzarro, Sam Berliner, Rafi Samosi, Nate Kashleski, and Nate Steinfink out there to take this drop. It'll be Berliner over at center ice. Looks like we have some discussion with the bench here as to what may be going on in front of goal.
What do you think they say about City Ice?
Well, now the referee's discussing it with the entire Raiders bench and the coaching staff about the sun and whether we'll switch. Maybe the discussion is whether we'll switch halfway through the third period, as the sun could end up in one goalie's eyes more than the others. All right, we're set. Goalie's being checked, scorekeeper being checked. Puck drop for period one is right now. Berliner leans over at center ice. Ready to take this on the back end, try and win it over to Samosi. He wins it back instead to Koshlewski. Koshlewski works that up to Bizarro. Bizarro fires forward. Puck taken over there by Peconic momentarily. Berliner pushes it farther into the offensive zone. Now Samosi looking for Berliner in the slot. Comes up to Koshlewski. Sends a shot just wide of the cage. Samosi picks it up behind the net. He's on the backhand is Samosi. Looking for an outlet there. He finds Steinfink at the top far point. But Peconic's going to come away with that only so far as Koshlewski. Koshlewski on the backhand works it back for Samosi. Samosi sends that up to Bizarro. And then the puck comes through the neutral zone on Peconic's stick and then back on the Raiders' stick and they dump in. Bizarro now on the forecheck. Tries to work that puck in deeper. He takes it off his man and then Peconic takes it right back from him on the far corner. The Wildcats working hard to keep this puck out of their zone. Berliner now picks it up in the near corner. He works it over to Bizarro. Bizarro goes forehand, backhand, forehand. Koshlewski calling for it up at the top point. Now Bizarro works that over all the way to Steinfink, but it's going to leave the zone momentarily. We are going to get an offside call there at 14:13 to go in the first period. We'll get our first stoppage in play as the Raiders are offside, and they'll make a change here for the ensuing faceoff. Now some parents volunteering from the stands to help with the offside calls as they're standing right on the blue lines here that are painted on the boards. It'll be Petrosinelli, Marchuka, Kalemba out there as the forwards. Puck comes in the offensive zone. Petrosinelli tries to keep it there. Takes a man out right on top of the puck, but the Wildcats are able to push that farther. Now the Wildcats trying to get through the neutral zone. Cut out there, though, by Chris Tanoff. Wildcats come up through the neutral zone again. Petrosinelli takes his man out. Wildcats still pour forward. Still all Wildcats in the offensive zone now as the clock continues to run. 13:50 left to go here in the first period. Raiders try and get that out of the zone. They do on the stick of Matthew Fauci. It's a 3-on-2. Fauci finds Marchuka. Marchuka on the forehand, driven wide, looking into the slot. Will return pass, just misses a stick in the crease, and the Wildcats will break out of their zone. They're through the neutral zone now, are the Wildcats. They enter the offensive zone. They're on the forehand, looking to get a shot in on Bricker. It goes wide of the cage. Gosser drives his man to the outside and forces a wide shot. Peconic tries to curl around in the far corner and pick it back up. Instead, it comes to Marchuka. Marchuka's 1-on-2, looking for support. Now he's 1-on-1. He's round one man. He's on the forehand. He shoots and he scores. That's a Luke Marchuka goal. And the Raiders up one at 13-14 still here in the first period. It's Raiders 1, Wildcats nothing. Luke Marchuka took that about 200 feet himself. And he potted that on the wrist shot right behind the Peconic Wildcats goaltender. Now, new skaters out there now. It'll be Finkelstein, Meyerowicz, and Vigliotti as the forwards. Koshlewski and Gosler as the defenders. Vigliotti takes it on the forehand. He rounds the man, tries to send that in, and that's a goal immediately. Vigliotti with the goal. Oh, that's another Raiders goal. Well, if you liked Vigliotti's shot, you'll like his Instagram account even more. It's Lorenzo Vig 20. Look him up, ladies and gentlemen. That's 2 in 2 days for the right winger of the Raiders. And a little bit of a discussion here. The scorekeeper to try and get the goals up. But there's 13:06 left here in the first period, and it is Raiders 2, Wildcats nothing. Ensuing face-off delayed here as the scoreboard gets a little work. There it is. Goals put up, pucks dropped. Koshlewski works that forward to Vigliotti. Vigliotti tries to get that puck in deep, collects his own pass, and then it's redirected out of the zone, and Gosler will pick up in the neutral zone. Gosler now on the puck. He chips that in, past the stick of Finkelstein, who turns and gives chase on the forecheck. Koshlewski now fires in to help Finkelstein. Koshlewski picks up the puck, and Meyerowicz covers at the point for him. He works that down to Finkelstein. Vigliotti in front of the cage, just hops over his stick, and Peconic's going to break out of their zone. Only so far is Vigliotti at the blue line now, picked up again by Finkelstein and swept all the way rink wide, where Peconic picks it up in the neutral zone and tries to jam it farther. Peconic at the red line, can't get it any farther there until they come weak side and send a soft pass into the offensive zone. Gosler turns to pick up the puck. He does. He goes behind his net. He's on the forehand. He dances around one man and now tries to break out of the zone. His pass is cut out by Peconic. Pass stays in the zone, and Peconic looks to send a shot in on Bricker. Instead, the Raiders get there first and try and turn it out of the zone. Bit of an obstructed view here as we're rinkside. Paid a lot of money for seats on the glass, but you always, when you do, you can't see the corners of the rink. Now Peconic will back up as the puck comes out of their zone. Peconic takes over in the neutral zone. The Wildcats try and get that up. Instead, it finds a stick of Finkelstein, who dumps that in so the Raiders can make a change. Meyerowicz still out there. Bizarro fires in on the line change. It's him and Jake Meyerowicz out in the offensive zone as the players start to come back to pick up the puck. Peconic takes it over there at the blue line. Heavy hit there by Meyerowicz. Takes his man off the puck, but Peconic picks it up again. Pours into the offensive end. Now it's Steinfink to try and work the puck out of the zone. He finds Samosi, who works the puck farther. Then it's turned right around. Puck comes near the slot. No shot coming as Samosi takes it over again. Samosi has Bizarro out there with him. Samosi through the neutral zone with speed. He's on the forehand. He goes around one man. On the backhand, he goes just wide of the cage. Tanoff looks to pick up the rebound. Peconic gets there first, and they dump that puck through the neutral zone, and Steinfink gives chase on the cover. Steinfink now in the far corner. Takes it strong on his stick. Takes it on the forehand. Works it over to Berliner. Berliner goes the other way around his own cage and tries to work that puck up and out of the zone. He finds Bizarro at the blue line, defensive blue line, and Bizarro turns in the neutral zone and skates with speed through the neutral zone. He's got Samosi and Berliner with him. Puck comes off his stick at the last second, and Peconic's going to get that out of the zone just briefly until Berliner brings it right back across the blue line. Looks like it didn't clear the blue line as the Raiders were able to keep the zone all the way to the end boards. Peconic now trying to dance around a few men to get this puck out of the zone. They sweep it up to the blue line, and now it's out. This should be an icing here as we have an arm raised. And we'll get a whistle, no icing call, but maybe a penalty call coming. Unclear. We had an arm raise there on that pass, but no one's being directed to the box just yet. No, here we go. Yes, the hand of doom point over to the box. Let's see who's going to go to the box. Looks like it'll be Bizarro to the box. Unclear for what, but it'll be 2 minutes on the board against the Raiders. They'll be up 2 goals, down a man. 10:24 left to go here in the first period. This is going to be a face-off. It should be in the offensive zone here once they work out the penalty. The offensive zone for the Wildcats, that is. So we'll see. Looks like there might just be the one box. Well, that could get interesting, of course, if we go down to 4-on-4 or 3-on-3 at any point. Players from differing teams in the same box. Now we'll get this worked out. 2 minutes on the board for the Bizarro penalty. 5-on-4 hockey for the Wildcats. It's going to be a face-off at the far dot to Bricker's right. Marchuka tries to win that forward. He does. Peconic will take over right at the blue line and try and chip it farther in. Puck just sits at the near dot. Shot comes in, shrugged aside by Bricker, and now picked up by Marchuka and chipped forward, but not out just yet. Petrosinelli helps him get the puck out of the zone, and now Marchuka on the forecheck as Peconic takes over in the neutral zone and tries to work that up and off the boards. Comes over to Marchuka at the red line. Marchuka on the forehand is able to dance around his man, gain a little space there to try and dump it in. Instead, it hits Peconic's stick, and they turn it right the other way through the neutral zone. Peconic coming through the neutral zone. They're up a skater, trying to set up their power play and work that puck in. Big hit by Petrosinelli in the middle of the ice. Gosser takes over the puck, tries to work that deep into the offensive zone. Puck never left the zone, so Marchuka stayed on side, as did Gosser. Tight angle shot comes in, hits the goalie's skate, and the puck comes all the way out of the zone on the Peconic clearance, and we'll get a stoppage in play at 9:30 left to go here in the first period. Still 1:06 left to go on the penalty kill for the Raiders. Well, and a reminder, you're watching Midnight Sports. Upstate, downstate, or out of state. If it's youth hockey, it's Midnight Sports. Well, ensuing faceoff's going to come just outside the zone. And it looks like it'll be Meyerowicz over the dot. He's got Finkelstein out there with him, as well as Nate Koslewski and Chris Tanoff as a defensive pairing. Koslewski comes over to cut out the threat in the neutral zone. Peconic turns it right the other way, and they come into the offensive zone on the forehand, looking to set up a shot. They saucer one just softly to the left of the cage, looking for a rebound. And instead, it comes into the near corner. Peconic calling for it at the blue line. Instead, shot comes in. Bricker's able to chest that down. Puck goes to the end boards. Now Peconic looking for the follow-up shot. They've got the puck in the near corner, trying to keep the zone as it rolls up and eventually out. And Peconic will have to reset here with 36 seconds left to go on their power play. Peconic through the neutral zone. They're at the red line looking to dump it farther in. They do. They find a little bit of room there to get it in, but only so far as Finkelstein, who takes over the puck in his own end and curls the other way. Finkelstein now harassed by two men. Is able to backhand that up to Meyerowicz. Tries to send it to himself, and Peconic will take over in the offensive end momentarily. Meyerowicz cuts out the exit pass there and sends the puck in a little bit deeper until Peconic takes over again, comes to the neutral zone. Just 8 seconds left to go on the power play here for the Wildcats. Try to go around to the end boards. It's picked up there by Koslewski. Koslewski looks up on the forehand. We're back to 5-on-5 skating now as the Raiders look to escape the zone. Peconic curls into the slot. Still Peconic in the slot, trying to get a shot on goal, but it's cut out well there by, it looks to be Samosi, Bizarro, and Meyerowicz. Shot comes in, goes wide. Tanoff curls it around the boards. Peconic does keep the zone at least momentarily. Sun's in the referee's eyes, so we're going to get probably some offside calls that you might not agree with at home, but it's hard to see when the lines are not on the ice. Heavy hit there by Tanoff. Shot comes in, goes wide of the cage. Raiders will have to pick up in their own end. Looking to untilt this ice as it's been tilted in Peconic's favor for the last minute or two after that power play. Now it'll be Tanoff again on the forehand. Looks to chop that puck up and out of the zone. Doesn't make it past the blue line, though, and Tanoff will turn around again. Curl. Some tired Raiders skaters out there right now. Peconic trying to dance around a few men. Berliner comes in on a line change. He's the only forward who's been able to change yet. Shot comes in. Bricker saves there. Snapshot goes low. Bricker's able to stick that aside, and the Raiders are able to clear eventually. The puck's going to get frozen by the Peconic goaltender. Easy for you to say. With 7:20 left to go here in the first period, it's still Raiders 2, Wildcats nothing. Now it'll be Samosi, Bizarro, Berliner, Fauci, and Gosler out there as the five skaters for the Raiders. Raiders win that forward. Bizarro on the shot. He shoots. He hits the side of the cage, and Berliner tries to collect the rebound. Berliner on the backhand at the far half wall. Puck comes over to Gosler. Gosler sends a shot, and it's deflected high and wide, and now Bizarro picks it up in the near corner. Still Bizarro trying to work it up to Fauci. Comes to the near half wall, and then worked down farther by the Raiders. Samosi tries to take it into the slot there. It's deflected just wide, and Berliner tries to collect on the back check. Instead, Peconic pours forward into the offensive zone. Fauci turns. He swings that up to Bizarro. Bizarro now in the neutral zone. He's got Berliner with him down the right wing into the slot. Bizarro comes to the middle, dangles one man, goes around, and then he shoots, and it's a nice save there by the Wildcats goaltender. Now the Wildcats try and come the other way. Instead, Samosi cuts out the threat. He's able to dump that deeper into the offensive zone, and Bizarro on the forecheck tries to take the puck off his man. Still Bizarro now, working hard to get the puck off his man at the end wall. Looking into the slot for a teammate. He finds Samosi at the near half wall, and Peconic just fires that up and out of the zone to cut out that threat. We should get an arm raised here for icing, and we do. We get a whistle at 6:15 left to go in the first period. It's Raiders 2, Peconic nothing.
Hey.
Well, ensuing faceoff's going to be an offensive zone draw here. It'll be Petrosinelli, Marchuka. Kalemba out there is the forward, Steinfink, and Koslewski as the defensive pairing. Marchuka wins that face-off forward. He pours in on the forecheck. Puck comes up and out of play, though, and we'll get another stoppage at 6:10 with left to go in the first period. Same skaters will stay out there, but because it came off a Raiders stick, it's going to be a face-off just outside the offensive zone, right here in front of the booth. Marchuka again wins that face-off forward to himself. Settles the puck down, goes into the near corner. He turns, looks for support. He's got Steinfink at the near point. Instead, he goes down to the end boards and then turns right back around. He's a one-man cycle right now, and then Steinfink dumps the puck back in when it comes up to the blue line. Steinfink with a good zone keep there, and now backs up as two Peconic men come toward him. Petrosinelli brushes his man out of the play, and Marchuka will take over right at the blue line. The puck comes over to Steinfink, who jams it farther, and then Peconic takes over the puck and comes in on net. Nice save there. It's just right in front of the crease after Bricker gloved that down. It was cleared there by the Raiders, and they'll come right back the other way. Marchuka finds Petrosinelli. He tries to curl into the slot. Instead, it comes to Koslewski. He throws one just off the side of the cage. Peconic tries to get the rebound. Unable to do so just yet as the puck sits at the near half wall. Still at the near half wall is the puck. Peconic tries to jam it out of the zone. Now they'll skate it out of the zone. They dangle around one man, but can't get past the second. And Peconic will have to reset in their own end. Peconic goes point to point. 5:07 left to go here in the first period. Peconic still trying to get control of the puck as Kalemba harasses them on the forecheck. Now Koslewski comes in with the puck and sends it back to Kalemba, sends it back to Koslewski. Puck goes all the way around rink wide, and Steinfink will pick up at the far point. Tries to jam that puck in farther. Instead, Peconic gets it out of the zone. Petrosnelli on the back check will pick up the puck. He's got Koszlewski waiting for him at the offensive blue line. Koszlewski takes over there. He's on the forehand, sends a shot wide, and takes a heavy hit to do so. Now Vigliotti out there. Goal scorer tries to keep the puck in the zone. Unable to do so on his first try, but he picks it up at the blue line. Then he finds Koszlewski just a bit outside his reach, and Nate will just have to pump that puck in a little bit deeper. Peconic trying to clear the zone now. They use the boards, and they're able to find their headman up the ice, but it's cut out there by Gosler. Peconic now comes into the offensive zone. They just dump in. They're looking to pick it up on a dump and chase routine. Instead, Vigliotti gets there first. He's on the forehand, tries to work that up to Meyerowicz. The second and third attempt does find a teammate, and he's able to get it out of the zone. Peconic dumps back in. Just over 4 minutes left to go here in the first period. Gosler picks up the puck behind his own net. He's on the forehand, and he turns. He comes around to the near corner. Peconic comes, and he hits a post. Does the Peconic man. Still scoreless, though, are the Wildcats as that puck stays out. Got the puck at the blue line. They're showing little teeth here, are the Wildcats, as they try and get that puck in onto Bricker. Vigliotti will pick up the puck at his own defensive blue line. He's able to turn and get the puck out of the zone. He gains the red line, gets that puck in deep, takes a heavy hit after he does so. The Raiders are going to be able to take over the puck in the offensive end here. Gosler at the near point, waiting for the puck. It's at the half wall, comes up into the slot instead, and Peconic takes over in the high slot, skates it out of the zone. They're through the neutral zone. Chris Tanoff turns to drive his man wide, takes a swipe at the puck, makes his man think twice. Ooh, deflection attempt there, doesn't quite get on goal. Just over 3 minutes to play as the puck enters the near corner, and now it's in the high slot. Comes up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz takes over the puck there. Tries to bat it farther through the neutral zone. Gosler in for support. Tries a backhand, hits a Peconic shin guard. And now the Wildcats will look to get into the offensive zone, but only momentarily. Nice back check there by Meyerowicz. He's able to drive into the offensive end. Gets the puck about halfway into the offensive zone until it's turned around the other way, but he's able to buy his teammates a line change. Peconic comes through. Puck comes all the way out on Bricker, who just sweeps that puck aside to cut out the Peconic threat. Peconic dumps that in to the offensive zone, but not deep, as it's turned the other way by Steinfink over to Bizarro. Bizarro tries to jam it to a teammate, and comes up to Samosi in the neutral zone. Now Berliner on the puck in the neutral zone. He's got two Peconic men on him. Peconic's able to turn it the other way. The Wildcats really scraping hard to get that puck in the offensive zone, but instead it's Bizarro who comes into his offensive zone. He leaves it for Samosi. Samosi gets the puck on the forehand. He sends a shot high on the goaltender. It's blocked down at first by a teammate. Samosi tries again, and that shot's blocked as well. Puck comes to Steinfink, who tries a shot in, doesn't reach the cage. Peconic's able to jam that out of the zone, and Falsi will turn to recover the puck in his own end. Just over 2 minutes left to go now in the first period. It's Falsi still with the puck behind his net. He's able to find Samosi. Samosi gets on the forehand. A wonderful diagonal pass there. Finds Sam Berliner, and he's got Bizarro going down the left wing with him. Bizarro's found by Berliner. Tries the return pass at the far post. Just a little too hot for anyone to handle. And now the Raiders will have to reset in the offensive end. Peconic takes over the puck, but it does fall to Bizarro just momentarily. Bizarro tries a shot in, and the puck saved. Comes up to Koszlewski now at the near point. Bouncing puck comes into the slot. Doesn't reach the cage, and Peconic will take over again in their own end and skate this puck out. Samosi on the back check. Comes up the play at least momentarily. Berliner now in for support. Berliner moves that puck farther, and it comes over to Steinfink at his defensive blue line. Just over a minute left to play. Now Steinfink with the puck. Skates it all the way into the offensive zone. All the way to the far corner. He's in. He's got coverage with Samosi at the far point. Koszlewski now fires in to keep the puck. Good pinch there, sends it all the way down to Berliner, and Peconic will have to turn. Instead, the shot comes in, rebound loose in the slot. Peconic takes over. They're going to skate this puck out, and they've got a 3-on-2 developing if they hurry. They gain the blue line, look to be offside. No call there. Bricker's able to blocker that aside. Rebound sits to the side of the cage. Bricker gets over to cover that rebound, and then he saves the next shot. A wonderful freeze there. 47.1 minutes, or seconds, left in the first period. Wonderful double save there by Jason Bricker. Keeps this a 2-0 game. Well, ensuing faceoff is going to be Marchuka, Petrosinelli, and Columba as the forwards. Looks to be Gosler and Tanoff as the defensive pair. Puck just comes into the slot. Marchuka takes over there, curls behind his own cage, and he's going to leave the zone with it. He's got the puck there. Still through the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-3. He's got Petrosinelli down the left wing, looking to go cross ice. Instead, pulls up in the far corner as he's harassed by two men. Puck comes all the way through the slot. No stick on it, and comes up to Gosler. Look out, that shot comes in, goes up and in. A wonderful shot there by Silas Gosler, and that's a Raiders goal. Well, with just 21 seconds left, the Raiders in the offensive end were able to find Gosler at the near point, and he does not miss from there. That seeing eye puck evaded about 3 different players and ended up back of the cage. Bit of a discussion now with the Peconic players, with the referee about that goal call. But in any event, it looks like this goal is going to stand. It's maybe some complaints from the Peconic goalie about the sun being in his eyes. And I'll tell you that the sun glare is real here, especially on the ice. You've got it coming down as well as reflecting off of the ice. And so it's a tough one to see from the point. In any event, about 12 seconds left to go as Peconic gains the offensive zone, but without possession. It's fought for at the end boards, and it comes all the way up to Kalemba at the far half wall. Kalemba, with just 5 seconds left to go, is able to guide that puck out of the zone into the offensive zone, and that'll do it for one. It's Raiders 3, Wildcats 0. Stick around. Puck drop for period 2 coming up next. Well, we're back here for period 2's puck drop. I'm just going to get the scoreboard right as the goalies change position, and now the sun will be in Bricker's eyes, as it was in the Peconic Wildcats goalie's eyes there. The third goal of the first period. Looks like it's going to be Berliner, Meyerowicz, Fauci, Vigliotti, and Koslewski out there as the 5 Raiders skaters. They'll take up their positions here as both goalies get set. They're checked by the referees. And the scorekeeper checked. We're ready to roll. Puck dropped. Berliner wins that forward to himself. Tries to pour into the offensive zone. Finds Vigliotti. Puck then rolls off his stick. And Koslewski will recover. Sends that over to Fauci. Fauci now on the forehand. Works that puck up over to Sam Berliner at the offensive blue line. Berliner's on the forehand. Vigliotti streaking toward goal. Unable to get the shot off there, though, as the Wildcats come the other way now. It's all Wildcats now in the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-2. The Wildcats break into the offensive zone, but they're called offside just as the left winger came into the zone a little bit too early. So 14:37 left to go here in the second period. And Peconic just offside. So this faceoff will come outside the Wildcats offensive zone on the near side. Same 5 skaters stay out there for the Raiders. Berliner again wins that puck forward, but this time Peconic takes over. They try and send that into the offensive zone. Comes to the stick of Fauci, who just guides that up to the near point. Then Nate Koslewski takes a man out of the play. Puck rolls in on Bricker. He sticks that aside, and Fauci takes over again. Tries to turn in the near corner to reverse it. Peconic wise to that, lifts his stick and tries to take over at the near half wall. Now at the near point, shot comes in. Ooh, just a slap shot. Guided it to the side by Bricker after it got through the screen in front. Puck now rolls in on Bricker. He'll freeze it. Wonderful save there by Jason Bricker with 14:03 left to go on the initial slapper. And he's able to freeze it down as the puck rolled in on him afterward. It's going to be a defensive zone faceoff. Marchuka, Samosi, Tanoff, Bizarro, and Steinfink out there for the Raiders. Marchuka looks to win this on the forehand. He wins it to himself, and he curls behind his own net. He's on the forehand, looking to use the boards. He finds Bizarro at the defensive blue line. Bizarro's able to pull the puck farther for himself. He's got Marchuka streaking up with him. They're scissoring into the offensive zone, are the players, and the puck ends up at the end boards. Now Marchuka tries to take over there. Marchuka still at the end boards. Tries to move the puck farther. He's on the forehand, is Marchuka. Marchuka sends a shot up and off a shoulder of the goalie, and then it sits in front of the goalie, and Peconic can't quite clear the zone. Comes over to Marchuka again. Marchuka in the far corner. He finds Samosi. Samosi able to skate around the net. He's on the backhand, looks to get at the forehand, and he sends on a reverse over to Marchuka. Now it comes to Bizarro, comes off his stick as the Wildcats then try and move the puck farther. They're on a mini break here, cut out by Tanoff, guided just in on goal by the Peconic player, but unable to get a real shot off as that puck rolled. Marchuka takes over through the neutral zone. He gains the offensive zone. He's on the forehand, goes just a bit wide, looking for a tight angle shot. Instead, it's cut out by the Peconic player. The puck's sent the other way. Peconic now has a 2-on-2 through the neutral zone coming the other way. Peconic into the offensive end. They're on the forehand, guided wide again by Tanoff, and Steinfink will recover that puck at the end boards. He's taken out of the play. He gets support again from Tanoff on this side, and who guides it over to Marchuka. Marchuka now on the forehand, looking for a long diagonal pass. He gets the puck out of the zone, and the threat's cut out in the neutral zone, though, by the Wildcats. Wildcats take over in their own end. They try and go point to point. And a Wildcat player blows a tire there, right in front of his own bench. And they lose possession, at least momentarily. Marchuka now with the puck. Marchuka on the forehand, goes to the backhand. He's got Bizarro headed toward net. Marchuka rounds his man. He hits the side of the cage. It goes up off the goaltender and in. That's a Luke Marchuka goal. And the Raiders lead by 4.
Come on, man.
Well, Marchuka was able to do that. As he rounded his man, he hit the post, went up and around, off the shoulder of the Peconic goaltender and scored. That's a 4-goal lead for the New York City Raiders. Puck comes, the ensuing faceoff comes over to Koslewski, and then it's deflected up and out of play right here by the booth. So heads up. We'll have a faceoff just outside the zone. Excuse me. They've moved it to center ice now, so with 13:01 left to go here in the second period, center ice faceoff. We'll do it all over again. Berliner at the dot, wins it on the backhand. Petrosinelli tries to fire forward. Puck hops over his stick, and Gosser takes over. He backhands that up and off the boards. Peconic will take it over in the neutral zone, but only momentarily. Puck comes to Kalemba. He pours in with Berliner. They both have the puck now. They find Petrosinelli in the slot. Shot comes in, and it's gloved right there by the Peconic goaltender, and we'll get another stoppage in play after that save with 12:43 left to go in the second period. The Raiders showing some pushback after Peconic had controlled the last few minutes of play. Spent a lot of time in the Wildcats offensive end now. Excuse me, the Wildcats defensive end. And the scoreboard reflects it. It's Berliner at the far dot. He's going to lean over this puck. He's got Fauci and Steinfink behind him as the defensive pair. It'll be Petrosinelli, looks like, and Kalemba out there as the forwards with him. Berliner at that far dot, wins that face-off backward. It evades everyone, though. Comes all the way to Bricker, who's going to stick that over to his defenseman, Matthew Fauci. Puck rolls off his stick at the end boards, and Steinfink will take over. Steinfink now looks up, tries to find Petrosinelli. Instead, Slapper comes in. We're going to get a whistle. Unclear for what. Well, there it is. The net had come off its moorings, and I suppose that's because there are no moorings for the nets here. The ice is so new. No post holes have been drilled. There are no anchors for these nets, so going Can expect that to happen a few more times today as the nets are easily moved on ice without those anchors. Ensuing faceoff's going to be Marchuka to Bricker's right. He's got Vigliotti out there with him, as well as Steinfink. Still Steinfink now on the puck at the near half wall. He's able to chop that past his man, comes up past the blue line, then we'll get an offside call here on Peconic as they tried to pour right back into the zone a little too soon. So it's going to be a faceoff just outside the offensive zone for the Wildcats. Same 5 skaters stay out there for the Raiders. It's Marchuka who tries to win that forward. Peconic comes away with it at the red line. They skate with speed through the offensive zone. It's Peconic now working that puck but can't get past Fauci until they send a shot in that hits Steinfink's shin guards. Now Vigliotti looks to the center of the ice to find a streaking forward. He finds Meyerowicz on the weak side. Meyerowicz now comes into the zone. Meyerowicz tries to pour that puck forward. Vigliotti takes over at the far half wall. He works that puck all the way to the end boards, takes his man out of the play, and the puck comes to the near corner. Still in the near corner now is the puck as they're looking for a slot pass. The Raiders are. Marchuka tries a wraparound, and we're going to get a call here for, it looks to be just a save. All right, well, with 11:44 left to go, we get a stoppage in play. Just a saved shot. Kind of hard to tell into the sun exactly what's happening at that end of the ice. But the net also came off its moorings on that side. So, we got a save, we got a dislodged net, and we're going to get a face-off just outside the zone as the Raiders must have been the ones adjudged to have knocked the net off its moorings. Yeah, it's Marchuka wins that face-off forward. Vigliotti on the forecheck with Marchuka, looking for the puck at the far half wall. Peconic's able to chop it up, but not out. Marchuka takes over on the forehand. Still on the forehand is Marchuka. He leaves it for Steinfink, who works that puck over to Fauci. Fauci tries to turn with it. Puck just rolls on him a little bit. He's able to take his man out of the play for Steinfink to recover the puck. Looks like we're going to get a penalty here, though, on Fauci for a little after-action hitting as the puck rolled off his stick. So the Raiders are going to go down to 4 men with 11:24 left to go. Looks like it's going to be a roughing call. And he'll go to the box for 2 minutes. Defensive zone face-off coming up as the Raiders are down to 4 men. It's going to be Samosi, Kishlevsky, Tanoff, and Bizarro out to kill this penalty. Bizarro is able to lift the stick of his man, win the faceoff back to Tanoff. Tanoff fires it around the boards, comes up to the near point, not out just yet. Slapped farther by Kishlevsky, still not out. Now Samosi's able to kick that puck out of the zone. Peconic will have to clear before dumping back in. They do. Puck comes to Tanoff. Tanoff works that up off the boards, out of the zone. Now Peconic has it in the neutral zone, looking for relief on the weak side. They find it. They're in the high slot as Peconic dances around one man and then sends a shot in, but not on goal. It was blocked nicely there by Nate Kishlevsky and taken over by Samosi to work that around to the weak side. Peconic's able to keep the zone. They send that into the slot again on the forehand. Shot comes in, blocker to side there by Bricker. And Kishlevsky, with the puck in the near corner, works that over on a cycle to the weak side. Looks like Tanoff taken out of the play there. Bizarro tries to take over the puck. Goes all the way across the ice, and then he does find it here. Blows of tire, but he's able to get that puck out of the zone. Kishlevsky now working his man hard, as is Samosi. Peconic comes right back into the zone. They're on the forehand, but only so far as Tanoff's skate. And then Samosi takes over in his own end. He's able to use the boards to get that puck up and out of the zone. Icing waved with 10:17 left to go here in the second period. Still 50 seconds left to go on the roughing penalty to the Raiders. Peconic comes through their own end, through the neutral zone with speed. Peconic now trying to work into the slot. They're at the far corner. A laser shot comes in. Bricker's able to glove that. No rebound coming. Nice save by him. 10:03 left to go here in the second period. 40 seconds left to go on the kill for the Raiders. Now that was something out of nothing there for Peconic. All the way through the neutral zone with speed. Found the far dot. Lasered a wrist shot in on Bricker. And he was able to glove that down with no rebound coming. It looks like we've got a penalty coming up here again on the Raiders. Unclear what it's for. But they're going to be down to 3 for 40 seconds, assuming Peconic doesn't score. So it's... No, they'll be at 3. So it looks like the Raiders are sent to the box. But they're not going to be down a skater. So that's going to likely be some sort of unsportsmanlike penalty instead. All right, well, 40 seconds left on this penalty. 5-on-4 hockey. Peconic tries to get a shot on goal. They're in the slot. Bricker's down low. Another shot comes in, and they go over the blocker pad after a nice save by Bricker. Peconic's able to put it past him on the rebound with 9:57 left to go in the second period. Peconic gets on the board. It's Raiders 4, Peconic 1. Well, that's a power play goal there for the Wildcats. They've cut the Raiders' lead to 3 as we're almost halfway through the halfway frame. Ensuing faceoff's going to be Marchuka, Petrosinelli, Kalemba, Gosler, and Steinfink. Marchuka at the center ice dot, looking to win this puck forward. He does, and he keeps the puck himself, pours in the offensive zone. He's on the forehand, looking to get one back very quickly for the Raiders. Shot goes just wide, comes up to Gosler, tries to jam that puck in to the crease. Instead, it's cut out by Peconic in the slot. Heavy hitting there at the blue line. No call coming. Marchuka now with the puck, looking to send something into the slot for Kalemba. Puck comes all the way around the end boards to the far corner. Gosler holds the far point. He's able to stick that puck back into the zone momentarily, and then Peconic fires it out. We should get an offside call. Here we do, with 9:26 left to go in the second period. We'll get a face-off just outside the Raiders' offensive zone. With time, of course, to remind you, you're watching Midnight Sports. Like it, follow it, subscribe to it. It's good for you. Midnight Sports. Marchuka now at the dot, just outside the blue line. Kalemba and Petrosinelli out there with him. Marchuka tries to kick that forward over to Kalemba. Instead, Peconic gets there first, and Gosler banks it off the boards into the Peconic zone, but without possession. Peconic now looking to pick up the puck in the offensive zone. They've gained the blue line, but gone no farther as Petrosinelli takes his man out of the play, and Marchuka comes away with the puck with speed. He's in the offensive end. He's on the forehand. Look out for that wrist shot. He goes high. It goes off the goalie's shoulder and out of play. Good laser wrist shot there from Marchuka. Hits the goalie's shoulder and goes out of play. And so we'll get a stoppage in play here at 9:03 after that puck doesn't stay on the ice surface. It's Vigliotti, it's Tanoff, it's Berliner, it's Fauci, and it's Meyerwich out there as the 5 skaters. Shot comes in from the near point, hits a man in front, doesn't connect. Tanoff's able to keep the zone, and Peconic will have to collect in the far corner. They try and work that up to Meyerwich, or past him that is, but they're unable to do it on their first try. Peconic now will have a second bite at the apple in the high slot. Instead, Berliner gets to the puck first. Looks to work that up to the near point for Tanoff. Tanoff sends a long shot in, hits the goalie's leg pad, and it's frozen down there at 8:36 left to go in the second period. It'll be an offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. Well, looks like the same skaters will stay out there for the Raiders right now. And so Berliner will lead over the near dot. Try and take this draw. It's Berliner now. He wins that up to Tanoff. Tanoff at the near point. Sends that rink wide over to Meyerwich in the far corner. Meyerwich cycles that down low. All the way over to, it looks like, Vigliotti. The puck does eventually find a Peconic stick, and the Raiders will take over in their own defensive end. Tanoff's got Fauci back there with him, curling around the net, ready for the reverse. Puck comes up to Vigliotti, who chops that farther, up to Berliner, but just off his stick, and Peconic takes over again in their own defensive end. Peconic now works that puck up through the neutral zone, finds Fauci, but Fauci's able to gum up the play long enough for Bricker to come out of the net and just stick that puck into the far corner. Puck now comes through the slot, nobody home for Peconic, up to the near point. Raiders now scrambling a bit as that shot pass comes in, and Peconic's able to pot that rebound off a shin guard of a Raider, and 7:48 left to go. That's a Peconic goal. It's Peconic 2, Raiders 4. Well, just about halfway through this game, and it's getting a whole lot more interesting after those 2 Peconic goals. So the Raiders will look to have some pushback here. Pizarro, Steinfink, Gosler out there as the 5 skaters. Puck's dropped. One by Peconic back into their defensive end. They go point to point and then look on the weak side through the neutral zone. Peconic works that puck up. They've got a one-on-one break happening here. Gosler cuts out the dangle there and the threat. And the puck just sits at the near half wall in the Raiders' defensive end. Raiders still looking to get that puck out of the zone. Puck sits at the end wall now as Peconic takes over again. They're in the far corner. Peconic trying to send something in. High on Bricker. Instead, hits a man in front, and Samosi will take over on the forehand. Samosi tries to work that puck up and out of the zone. Peconic cuts it out at the near point, but not the second time. Marchuka taken out of the play there. No call coming on what was some pretty clear interference. Now the puck sits at the defensive blue line of the Raiders, and Peconic dumps that puck in just offside. And we'll get a stoppage in play at 7:06 left to go here in the second period. Well, it's a drop just outside the offensive zone for the Wildcats. It's Berliner, Petrosinelli, and Kalemba out there with Gosler and Steinfink as the defensive pair. Puck's dropped. Not quite yet. That was a fake out as the referee was trying to make sure everyone had their mouth guards in. Here we go. Berliner kicked out of the dot for not having his mouth guard in. It's in now, and Peconic wins that face-off and sends that puck all the way in. No icing called as Peconic must have gained center ice, or it must have looked like they did at the very least. Hard to tell here. Chopped farther by Petrosinelli. Not out of the zone, though, and Peconic will dump that right back in. Steinfink fires in behind his own net on the forehand, tries to work that puck up and out of the zone. Instead, hits a man at first, and now the puck will come all the way out of the zone on his second try at it. Peconic takes over at their blue line. They're able to work that up in the neutral zone, but can't find in their own teammate's stick, and Gosler will take over and go behind his own net. He reverses that puck up to Kleba at the near half wall, but not out of the zone. Peconic takes over at the far point until they're hit by Kalemba there, and now it's Petrosinelli one-on-one with his man. Petrosinelli rounds his man, goes in on Cage. He's taken out of the play there. Surely we're going to get a penalty call with 6:13 left to go. Peconic's going to be going to the box for taking Jack Petrosinelli out of the play as he came in on the goaltender. We'll see what the call is. Should be an offensive zone draw here for the Raiders as Peconic goes to the box for 2 minutes there. You could call it a hook, a trip, a rough, an interference, despite the fact that Petrosinelli had the puck near him. Doesn't really matter, though, because he's going to the box, the Peconic man is, for 2 minutes. Berliner now at the near dot. Try and win this face-off in the offensive zone as the Raiders are up a man and 2 goals. Puck comes to Marchuka at the near point. He works that puck in deeper. Now it's in the near corner. Raiders looking to find some open ice to get a shot in on goal. Marchuka still with the puck at the near point. He dances around one man, now looks into the slot. Puck goes all the way around, comes to Meyerowicz on the far side. Meyerowicz with the puck. He's at the far half wall. He reverses it all the way down to Marchuka. Marchuka looks for Berliner in the slot. Just comes off his stick before he's able to get a shot off, and Peconic's able to dump that out of the zone with 5:43 left to go in the second. Picked up there by Tanoff. Tanoff works that puck farther, all the way through the zone. Must have touched a stick, no icing. Peconic does the exact same and works that puck up and out. Unable to keep the zone are the Raiders, and Bricker will come out of his cage to slow down the puck for Petrosinelli. Petrosinelli now on the forehand, being harassed by one man. Peconic unable to keep that in the zone as they kill this penalty. Berliner picks it up in the neutral zone, looks for Petrosinelli in the slot. Shot comes in just wide of the cage. Petrosinelli looks to chop that off the back of the cage to get the puck back in play. Now it comes through the crease again. No stick there for the Raiders to put that one in, and Peconic's able to clear the zone. 51 seconds left to go here on the power play for the Raiders. Marchuka harassed by one man and then 2. He dances around both of them and streaks through the neutral zone. Peconic's down a man here. They have to be careful with that kind of aggressive forechecking as the puck comes into the slot up to Tanoff. Tanoff in the slot goes just wide of the cage there and hits a shin guard, and Peconic's able to dump that out of the zone again. Just 28 seconds left to go here on the power play for the Raiders. Peconic trying to kill this penalty on the front foot. Aggressive forechecking there But Meyerowicz finds the puck through the neutral zone. He's now into the offensive end, across the blue line, and Peconic lifts that past everyone and out of the zone again. The Raiders have cleared the zone, but not entirely, and we'll get an offside call with 4:22 left to go and just 10 seconds left to go on the power play for the Raiders. 4:22 in the second period. It's Raiders 4, Peconic 2. This has turned into quite a game, as Peconic has really pushed back after the 4 early Raiders goals. Well, looks like we're going to have another Raiders visitor to the box. It'll be Meyerowicz, headed there for 2 minutes. And it's unclear whether we're going to have 4-on-4 hockey here or not. But what is clear is it's going to be a defensive zone draw for the Raiders. It's going to come to Bricker's left. And there's 4:22 left to go here in the second period. Looks to be Fauci, Bizarro, Samosi, and Gosler as the 4 penalty killers for the Raiders. Referee's still working out the score sheet here at the scorer's table. And that explains the delay. Penalty goes on the board. Unclear who it's for and what it's for. The Raiders bench wants an explanation. Still working it out over at the scorer's table. Well, we'll get a solution here soon, certainly, once we see which skaters are out there on the ice. But it gives us time to remind you, don't forget to tune in at 4:45 today, again, as the New York City Cyclones 16U girls team takes on Beaver Dam out in Locust Valley, New York. That's another outdoor game. So we've gone half a season without any on Midnight Sports, and now you've got 2 on the same day. Lucky you. If it's outdoor hockey, it's Midnight Sports. Looks like perhaps we're going to get some resolution here on the score sheet as it's being shown directly to the referee on the ice. Well, this discussion happens. Seems to be some dispute as to which players were supposed to be off the ice for 10 minutes as well, and who was told they could come back onto the ice. So that's still being worked out just to our right here in the booth. It does give us time to take in this beautiful cloudless day out here in East Hampton, New York. Oh, there's a whistle. Well, so much for enjoying the day. We're back to hockey. We'll get an explanation, I think, to the benches here before we proceed as to exactly what is going on. Let's see, a little discussion there with Coach Marchuka at the bench. What the call is, and how long the players need to be in the box. Looks to be satisfactory on all sides, and we will eventually get that puck drop. And it'll be right now. A reminder, 4:22 left to go here in the second period. Puck's dropped. Raiders no longer on the power play. Peconic about to go on it. We've got 4-on-4 hockey here for the next 2 seconds. And now Peconic comes out of the box, and they've got a power play for the next minute and 47 seconds. They're able to work that up and out of their defensive zone is Peconic, but without possession. Pizarro now turns, tries to find Samosi at center ice. He does. Samosi has Fauci with him. Samosi gains the zone. Samosi on the forehand. Driven wide, comes in on the crease, tries to score. He goes up and under. Oh, that's a goal. That's a Rafi Samosi shorthanded goal. Wonderful work there by Rafi to go around his man, and Samosi's able to put it under the leg pad of the goalie as he dances in on the penalty kill, and he reestablishes the Raiders' 3-goal lead with 3:52 left to go in the second period. It's Raiders 5, Wildcats 2. Well, Gosler, Fauci, Samosi, and Pizarro stay out there on the penalty killing unit. Pizarro wins the faceoff to himself. He comes in, he sends a snapshot high on the goaltender, and it's just gloved and frozen there with 3:45 left to go in the second period. Two wonderful looks here for the Raiders on the penalty kill. In the last 10 seconds or so, they're 1 for 2 on those looks. It'll be Pizarro at the far dot. He's got Samosi to his right. Pizarro looks to win this face-off on the backhand. Puck sits at the dot, then Pizarro takes over on the forehand and dumps that puck in deeper. Remember, Raiders are just trying to kill a penalty here. Samosi works that back over to Pizarro. Peconic will take over at the far half wall. They go a little deeper into their zone to retain possession. Now they're in the neutral zone as Peconic. They come weak side. The puck's just chipped off a stick by Gosler and sent right back the other way. 1:02 left to go on the Raiders penalty kill. Raiders will try and pick it up at the far half wall. It's chipped farther, though, by Peconic, and they're through the neutral zone. Now Peconic's coming with a bit of speed. Gosler again cuts out the threat with a good stick reach there. Nice poke check. Puck finds Pizarro and then Samosi. Pizarro tries to take over the puck in the slot on a pass from Samosi. Just a little too hot to handle, and now Peconic's going to come the other way into the offensive end. Peconic into the offensive end. 36 seconds left to go on the kill here for the Raiders. Puck sits at the far corner. Lost in the sun momentarily. Now Peconic has it in the high slot. Samosi tries to dance around his man. Instead, the shot comes in on Bricker. He makes one save, then two, then three, and now the puck does go in on that fourth attempt. The puck just escapes the long stick of Jason Bricker, and it's Peconic 3, Raiders 5. 2:44 left to go there. Now, it was a wonderful reaction save to start by Jason Bricker, who's able to scramble a couple of times. But that fourth jam rebound found pay dirt for Peconic, and it's a 2-goal lead. It's a power play goal for Peconic, a 2-goal lead for the Raiders. 2:44 left to go here at the second period. Berliner at center ice. He's got Vigliotti and Meyerowicz with him. Steinfink and Tanoff as well as the defensive pairing. Peconic wins that faceoff only so far as Vigliotti. Vigliotti on the forehand. Looks weak side for Meyerowicz. He finds Berliner instead. Berliner now leaves it for Vigliotti. The puck comes all the way up to the near point, and then it goes weak side over to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz on the forehand. Looks to send a shot in on goal. Hits a man in front. Peconic takes over. Peconic now through the neutral zone. It's a 2-on-1 for Peconic if they can find the other man. They do, but the puck's just a bit too far for him. And Peconic will have to pick it up again in the far corner. Now to the far point. Shot comes in, goes wide of the cage. Peconic can't tip that on net. And Vigliotti tries to clear the zone. Instead, Peconic comes away with it. Still Peconic. Puck comes over to Vigliotti. He's on the forehand, tries to work that puck up and out of the zone. Makes it to the blue line no farther. Now Berliner is able to jam up any attempt to get that puck into the zone. Peconic eventually finds it in the neutral zone and does gain the blue line. Still Peconic in the offensive zone, only so far as Vigliotti again, who's on the forehand, tries to chop it farther. Peconic there instead. Peconic on the forehand, sends a soft shot in on Bricker. He sticks and legs that aside. Now a slapper comes in. Bricker, wonderful save there with the blocker, sends that to the near corner. Vigliotti now on the puck. He finds Meyerowicz, weak side, and the puck rolls all the way into the neutral zone, and Peconic will take over in their defensive end. Just 85 seconds left to go here in the second period. Meyerowicz all over his man at the end boards in the Peconic zone. Peconic goalie's down, doesn't know where the puck is just yet. Puck comes up to Tanoff at the far point. Tanoff sends a slapper in, hits the goalie's leg pads. Peconic's going to be able to clear the zone here if they hurry. They do. They get it across the blue line. Peconic cheating a little bit now to try and get another goal before this period ends. Puck comes into the slot. Peconic on the forehand, driven wide there by Steinfink. Well played by him and well read. Now Steinfink tries to chip that puck out of the zone. Instead, it goes all the way to the end boards, and Berliner then throws that puck, hits the glass. It goes out of the zone. We should get a deflection here. So there'll be no delay of game play, as it must have chipped the glass when it left the zone. So it's going to be a defensive zone face-off here for the Raiders. 50.8 seconds left to go in the second period. Raiders 5, Peconic 3. And it's Marchuka who wins that face-off to himself. He's going to skate this puck out of the zone himself, too. Peconic hurries to get back in front of him. Marchuka still with speed, tries a backhand in on net. Cut out by Peconic, but Marchuka gets the rebound. He's now got the puck in the high slot. He's curling with it on the forehand. He sends a shot in on goal, and it's gloved there by the Peconic goaltender with 33.2 seconds left in the second period. It's going to be an offensive zone draw here to the Peconic goalie's left. Now, ensuing face-off, it's one forward by the Raiders, and Peconic takes over. They try and use the boards to get that out. Gosser then jams that rolling puck in farther. 25 seconds left to go now in this second period. Peconic trying to work this out of the zone and not give up a last-second goal in the second period when they've worked so hard to cut down on this lead. Puck comes in, deflected just wide of the cage. Peconic still scrambling to get this out. 10 seconds left to go here in the second period. Puck goes around the net. Wraparound attempt. It's frozen down there by the Peconic goaltender, and we'll get a stoppage in play with 4.4 seconds left. A wonderful save there by Peconic, going post to post to cut out the wraparound attempt by the Raiders. Now 4.4 seconds left to go. And the Raiders will pull Bricker here for a sixth skater, given that it's only 4.4 seconds left in the period. Raiders will get 6 skaters out there in the offensive zone draw, try and get a shot in on goal. Puck's dropped. Face-offs jostled for a bit. No shot coming. Peconic just clears the zone, and that'll do it for the second period. It's Raiders 5, Peconic Wildcats 3. Stick around. We're going to put 15 more minutes on the board, do it all over again in just a couple of minutes, right here on Midnight Sports. Well, puck drop for period 3 coming right up, but it does give us time to check in with another one of today's sponsors. Today's game on Midnight Sports is brought to you by Life's Minor Annoyances. Hockey fans, at the top of the list of life's minor annoyances are the obvious Hall of Famers: paper cuts and stubbing your toe. But don't sleep on the dark horses: forgetting your sunglasses, ripped trash bags, and low phone batteries. It's inconveniences like your computer crashing, a light bulb dying, and running out of milk that really keep life interesting. It's life's minor annoyances. People who say enjoy the journey rather than the destination have never stepped on a Lego. Well, thanks to all of our sponsors today. It's going to be 15 minutes on the board here. But it looks like we may be stopping the game here. Coaches are out on the ice. Let's see what's going to happen here. Is the game going to be called? I wonder. Looks like the game may be called here due to time. And it's going to be a 2-period game. Looks like maybe there's some complaints about the ice as well. It's just unclear right now as the players all mill about and then maybe climb back onto the boards. No, maybe we are going to do it all over again with 15 minutes on the board. Entirely unclear right now, folks. If you don't know what's going on, we certainly don't either. Still some discussions here with Coach Marchuka and the referee, and the coaches now for Peconic coming out and having a conversation. The same too. Well, it looks like there might be a problem with the playing surface as opposed to getting timed out here. So there's some concern, of course, as to how that can be repaired. Let's see.
The guy with the fuzzy jacket standing out there. Fuzzy jacket. Spray painted orange.
Unclear if there's any resolution to this just yet, but thanks for sticking with us right now as they try and figure out a way we can get the last 15 minutes of this game in. Well, the referee's still working on that ice. Try and get it set. Looks like while they do, we'll visit with our last sponsor of the day. Today's Game on Midnight Sports is sponsored by New Year's Eve parties. Hockey fans, it's December now, so it's time to start thinking about January 1st and your plans. And what better way to ring in the new year than by going to a party with your friends? Nothing says, let's do things right this year, than by starting it drunk, regretful, and eventually exhausted. Alternatively, you can watch a giant crystal ball drop from the heavens with thousands of strangers and no bathrooms. It's New Year's Eve parties. Whatever you pick, you can't go right. Well, thank you to our third sponsor today as well. We're still working on the ice surface out there. By we, I mean not me. But the players are back on the benches now, which leads me to believe that we've got a good chance of trying to complete this game at the very least. Looks like some ice shavings being put in the holes in the ice, filled with water, and then covered with those ice shavings again as the puck smooths them out. Of course, player safety is paramount here. Wouldn't want to see any player get hurt due to the ice surface. So the referees just doing their due diligence out there and following their mission to protect the players at all costs. In any event, looks like we're going to have a puck dropped here at center ice in just a moment. Well, that's good news. All right, goalies checked, ice surface checked. And we're ready to go. Puck's dropped. Meyerowicz wins that forward. Pizarro fires in. Pizarro harassing his man, lifting his stick, wins the puck in the near corner. We're rolling here in the third period.
Clock, buddy, clock.
And so Peconic tries to get that out of the zone. Puck's fired all the way up just to the near point. Gosser comes in. He sends a shot in and hits the goalie's shoulder, but not in just yet. Raiders try on the rebound. Send a shot into the slot. Peconic cuts it out, and now they're through the neutral zone is Peconic. Still Peconic now in the neutral zone. Steinfink all over his man, separates him from the puck, and then works that up to the far side of the ice. Steinfink still working hard. Pizarro takes over now on the forehand. He's looking for that diagonal pass up to Meyerowicz. Meyerowicz touches it to himself and now chases down the puck. He's got Fauci streaking into the slot with him. Meyerowicz still on the puck in the near corner, trying to work it out of a crevice over there. Finds Fauci. Fauci now tries to get that on the forehand and works that puck over, but unfortunately to a Peconic stick. Gosser cuts out the threat in the neutral zone after stopping there at the red line. He works that puck in deep. Meyerowicz gives chase, and Pizarro as well. Puck comes up to the near point, and Peconic's going to be able to get that out of the zone. Peconic now with speed. 14 minutes left to go in this game as Peconic gains the offensive zone. They're on the forehand. Laser shot comes in, and it's gloved down again by Jason Bricker with 13:55 left to go here in the third period. Raiders will get a line change out of that. It was a good freeze there by Jason Bricker. Get some new skaters on the ice after a minute had gone by. It's going to be Marchuka, Tanoff, Samosi, Petrosinelli, and Koslevsky. Face-off's one forward. Shot comes in. Stick to side by Bricker there. Marchuka picks it up on the forehand. Tries to reverse over. Peconic there first. Now Peconic trying to go around the net. They send a shot in. Hits the side of the cage. Now it hits Bricker's leg pad and out. Samosi with the puck. He's got a 3-on-2 developing. He's got Petrosinelli out there with him as well as Marchuka. Leaves it for Marchuka. Ice Monster, though, gobbles up that pass. Doesn't get all the way through to Marchuka. And Peconic takes over and gets it out of their zone. Now it's Petrosinelli dumping the puck back in from the neutral zone. Petrosinelli takes his man out of the play. And the puck comes up to Koslevsky at the near point. Koslevsky jams that puck in farther. Petrosinelli working his man hard at the point as well. Peconic looking to get that puck out of the zone. Still unable to do so in the first try, but they do eventually get it up to Tanoff at center ice. Tanoff finds Marchuka on the forehand. Marchuka goes wide. He's on the forehand looking into the slot. He's got Samosi at the far post, now the near post. Marchuka goes all the way around the offensive zone, still on the forehand. He's in the high slot. He finds Tanoff on the forehand. Tanoff sends a shot just wide of the cage. Comes up to Kozlowski at the near point. Kozlowski now sends a soft puck in. Nearly beats the goaltender with it. And dancing around the cage are the Raiders. Shot comes in, pops up and over the cage. How did they miss there? Must be plexiglass on the front of that goal for the Raiders. Marchuka takes over the puck in the far corner. Marchuka on the puck there, curls around his man, gets the puck back, and then he's taken out of the play. Tanoff pinches in, sends a pass to the slot. No one home there as Peconic takes over the puck and just banks that out of their zone for what should be an icing at 12:22 left to go here in the third period. Still Raiders 5, Peconic 3. Good push there by the Raiders. Get several shots in on goal. An acrobatic few saves there by the Peconic goaltender. Really the only thing keeping this from being a 6-3 game right now. Offensive zone draw coming up for the Raiders. It's Berliner, it's Vigliotti, it's Kalemba, it's Gosler, and it's Steinfink out there as the 5 skaters. Puck comes to Vigliotti in the slot. He tries to work that farther, takes over again in the high slot, working to get that on the forehand. He finds Kalemba. Puck comes off his stick as he was on the backhand. Berliner now tries to work it farther. Puck comes up to the far half wall, cut out there by Gosler, kicks it into the offensive zone again. Gosler's going to have to do it all over again as the puck comes back to him at the far point. He finds Berliner, finds Vigliotti in the slot. Vigliotti tries to load up on that shot. Instead, his stick's taken away from him, and Peconic comes the other way. Peconic through the neutral zone. They gain the blue line, does Peconic. Trying to send something in on Bricker. Driven wide there by the Raiders and Steinfink. Steinfink tries to take over at the end boards. Puck's reversed around him, but Vigliotti works that puck up to the blue line. Not out just yet. Peconic still dancing in farther. They're at the far corner. Peconic coming in. Can't get that shot on goal. It was a stick lift at the last second. Kept it from happening. Now Vigliotti with the puck. He's on the forehand. Tries to work that puck over to the weak side. Instead, Peconic cuts out that pass and now pours right back in. Kalemba takes over in the neutral zone now. He tries to get that puck deep. He does. He gets into the near corner, and then he goes for a line change as the Raiders are able to make a change behind the play here. Vigliotti takes his man out of the play. He's lying on his stick, but we're going to get a touch-up here and a Raiders penalty, as it looks like Vigliotti will be going to the box with 11:09 left to go here in the third period. Well, it's going to be a defensive zone draw. Coming to Bricker's right as 2 minutes are put on the board for the Vigliotti penalty, with 11:09 left to go in the third period. Meyerowicz tries to win that face-off forward. He finds Bizarro in the high defensive slot. The puck does come out of the zone. We should get a whistle for offside, and we do. We get that second whistle, so all the players hear it. And Peconic's going to have a draw here, but just outside the offensive zone, as the Raiders were able to get that puck out of the zone on the penalty kill. Peconic came back in just a little too quickly. 1:54 to go on the kill for the Raiders. 11:02 left to go in this game after the ice surface was fixed. Peconic tries to put that in the offensive zone. Instead, they go weak side. They're in the high slot. Man all over him is Chris Tanoff. Peconic now works that puck in, tries a one-timer, hits the side of the cage. Bricker had that covered anyway. Now the puck comes into the near corner. Peconic working it around the net. They're on the backhand, are Peconic. They're weak side now. They go all the way to the far side. And the Raiders look to take over at their own end boards. Puck in the near corner. Peconic still with possession. It's cut out very well there by Dom Bizarro, who's able to dance around his man in the neutral zone and then eventually loses control of the puck in the offensive zone. Peconic turns it right back the other way. Bizarro trying to kill this penalty any way he can. Tanoff now turns, do the same. Meyerowicz out there giving support. Tanoff takes over the puck in the near corner after Jake Meyerowicz forces a bad pass. Puck comes up to Meyerowicz, through his legs, works that out of the zone. Wonderful play there by Meyerowicz. And Bizarro in on the forecheck on the kill in the offensive end. Nearly takes the puck off his man. Now Fauci in out there after Meyerowicz made a change. Peconic comes right back into the offensive zone. It's chipped out there by Gosler, though, and Peconic will have to leave the zone again. They're right back in the offensive zone as Peconic. They come into the slot on the forehand. Can't get a shot off, though, as it's guided expertly to the corner by Steinfink, who takes a big hit to make that play. Now Fauci with the puck, skates it out of the zone. Fauci into the neutral zone. He's able to gain the red line and dump that in deep to kill more of this penalty. 25 seconds left to go on the kill for the Raiders. Peconic takes over in their own end. They work that puck up out of their defensive zone into the neutral zone while making a change. Hit a skate, though, and they'll have to reset right at the red line. Peconic still with the puck. 13 seconds left to go. Long shot in on Bricker. Sees that all the way and just gloves that down and leaves it for Gossler, so the clock continues to run. Now the puck comes into the slot. Shot comes in. Oh, Peconic with a snapshot. They score. Oh, just 3 seconds left to go on the kill for the Raiders, and Peconic scores. 9-11 in the game, and it's Peconic 4, Raiders 5. Well, this game's tightened up considerably now with 9 minutes and 11 seconds left to go. Peconic making a big push here, and the Raiders will need to push back. Well, the ensuing face-off looks like it's going to be Samosi, Marchuka, Petrosinelli, Kishlevsky, and Tanoff. Now Samosi off the ice. Kalemba comes on. Face-off one forward by Marchuka. Raiders nursing a 1-goal lead here in the third period. Kalemba with the puck. Takes that into the near corner. Shot comes in. Hits the goalie's leg pad. Petrosinelli tries to recover. Instead, the puck comes up to Kishlevsky. Long shot in. Saved well there by Peconic. And Marchuka tries to regain the rebound. Instead, comes all the way up and out of the zone. Kishlevsky turns and picks up the puck on his forehand. He's looking for support as his teammates clear the zone. Marchuka chips it past his man, but without possession. Big hit here at the glass. And Peconic just dumps that puck right back in. Looks like we're going to get a call here.
Petro, you're soft. Softy. More puck, less body, more puck.
And we'll get a face-off just outside the zone here. The Raiders' offensive zone, that is.
Come on!
And it's going to be Berliner at the dot here. And the puck comes to Tanoff. He jams that out of his defensive zone. He finds Berliner in the offensive zone. Berliner around one man. He's got Pizarro over there on the forehand. Pizarro has the stick just in position as the puck rolls off of it. And no shot coming as the Raiders will have to reset in the neutral zone. Chipped around one man. Samosi looks to take the puck back over. Samosi looking for support there. Taken off his stick by Peconic. Tanoff, though, able to jam it farther right in front of the Raiders bench. Just over 8 minutes left to go in this 1-goal game. Wildcats take over behind their own net. Work it up to the near point, and Kishlevsky tries to hold there. Hops over his stick, so Samosi will track back to pick up the puck in his own defensive end. Samosi now on the puck. Works that over weak side. Pizarro takes over at the red line. Pizarro kicks it to himself. He's got Samosi and Berliner with him on the wing. Pizarro tries to go around one man, just taken off his stick at the last second, and Peconic tries to take over in the near corner. They're able to work that up to the point. Gossler in now, recovers. He goes to point with Steinfink. Steinfink takes over on the forehand. He works that up to Berliner, at the blue line. Berliner tries to get that puck in deeper. Instead, Peconic cuts out the threat. They make a line change, does Peconic, and keep possession of the puck. Peconic now through the neutral zone, working hard to get this in the offensive zone. Long shot in on Bricker. He's able to just stick that aside, and Steinfink will take over and jam that farther up, but not out of the zone just yet. Another shot comes in. It's deflected up and out of the zone by Samosi. Samosi gives chase on the forecheck. Peconic turns it the other way through the neutral zone. They come weak side. Peconic now loads up at the near point. Shot goes well high of the cage, but Peconic looks to pick up the rebound on the far half wall. They make it up to the far point, do the Wildcats. Puck's still not out of the zone yet. Now the Raiders are able to just scoop that out of the zone. Berliner tries to track that puck down and work it up to Samosi. Puck still in the neutral zone. It's Berliner right in front of the camera here. He's able to work the puck deeper, but to a Peconic stick, and they'll turn the other way through the neutral zone. Nice little poke check there by the Raiders. Takes the puck off the Wildcats stick, at least momentarily. Samosi now leaves it for his defenseman.
Hurry up and change!
Gossler has the puck, tries to work that puck up to Pizarro. Pizarro works that puck farther at the blue line. It's out of the zone momentarily. Peconic just dumps right back in. Comes in on Bricker, who's going to cover that puck so that the Raiders can complete their Jane. 6:24 left to go here in the third period as the Raiders get their full line change out there now, and the trade-off is for a defensive face-off.
They're so tight they can't even get over the wall of these porches.
Paul, you want a mic?
He doesn't need a mic.
I don't think you need color commentary.
Did you get it?
Can you hear you commenting? There we go.
Well, ensuing faceoff, won there by the Raiders as they come out of their defensive end. It's Fauci trying to work the puck farther into the offensive end. He's able to dump that puck in deep right at the blue line. And Meyerowicz will give chase on the forecheck. Meyerowicz gums it up at the far corner. Peconic circling now, trying to cycle that puck out. Instead, comes up to Tanoff, sends a shot in, just hits a stick in front and goes wide. Peconic now trying to get the puck desperately out of the zone. Tanoff again pinches in, try and keep the zone, but Peconic's able to chip it just past him, and now Koszlewski will give cover. Koszlewski at his own blue line, able to jam that puck farther into the neutral zone, and then dumped in by Peconic. Goes all the way around the net. The Raiders will look to pick up with 5:41 left to go here in the third period. Unable to get it out of the zone just yet. Peconic working hard to get that puck in and on net. Raiders cutting out any pass there as the puck goes in on Bricker, and he'll just cover with 5.5 minutes even left to go here in the third period. As some of the parents are starting to get restless at the play of the Raiders, you may or may not be able to hear some advice being given. Well, perhaps we'll have to add a midnight sports feature. How mad is Paul on a scale of 10 to 10? Right now, Paul's a 10. Anyway, shot comes in, hits a body in front, loose in front, and then cleared out by the Raiders. Kalemba picks up the puck at his own blue line and works it into the offensive end. Kalemba still on the puck, tries to send that into the slot. Nobody home for the Raiders. Peconic tries to clear. Instead, Petrosinelli keeps the zone. Petro works that down to Kalemba. Into the low slot now. Still no Raiders stick there, though, as Steinfink will just reverse that down to Kalemba. Kalemba now on the backhand. Tries to kick it to himself. He's got two Peconic men on him. Puck finds Gosser. Snapshot comes in. Saved nicely there by the Wildcats goaltender. Now Peconic looks to take over again. They're in their defensive end as Peconic can't get it out of the zone, though. Good keep there by Steinfink. Now the puck comes to Peconic behind their own net. They try to work that puck up and out of the zone. They're going to be able to skate this out through the neutral zone. 4:40 left to go in this game as Peconic comes with speed. They go wide and then come in on Bricker. Hit the side of the cage. Puck rolls to the end boards. And we're going to get a whistle now. Unclear for what. But it looks like it's going to be a penalty. Well, unclear, actually. Oh, the rink door opened. No penalty. Penalty on the rink management, if anything.
Started the game late, Zamboni! Started 15 late!
It looks like they've opened the doors to try and end this game so that they can come on and Zamboni the ice, but the referees are telling them that we just have the 4.5 minutes left. Please let us finish. Quick check on the Paul Anger meter. He's still a 10 out of 10. But he was able to scare the Zamboni driver into closing the doors. It's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders. 4:33 left to go in this one-goal game. The Raiders are going to get their skaters here on the ice. And it is a penalty. Looks to be on Petrosinelli. He'll go to the box for 2 minutes. Unclear for what. But regardless, the Raiders are down a skater, up a goal. Peconic trying to work that up onto the goal. Instead, Berliner comes away with the puck. Berliner through the neutral zone now. Dumps that puck in deep to try and kill this penalty. Berliner collects his own dump in and works that around to the weak side where Peconic will pick it up in the near corner. Peconic now can't evade Sam Berliner, a one-man cycle machine down low. He still has the puck. He works it up here to the near point. Watch out. Silas Gosler laser shot incoming. Saved nicely there by Peconic. Peconic takes up the puck in their own end. They go around their own net, do the Wildcats, looking to break out of their zone and get this power play started. They reverse. Steinfink's going to cut that puck out at the blue line. He takes one jab at it, then two. Works it past his man, but not the second, and Peconic is able to break out. Just under 4 minutes left to play. Peconic tries to set up a shot. Looping shot, hits a stick, goes high, and Bricker's able to glove that down after calling for a fair catch. And we're going to get a defensive zone draw here with 1:16 left to go on the penalty kill for the Raiders. 3:48 left to go in this game. Ensuing draw Sees the Raiders lean over the dot, try and win that forward. Peconic takes it to the near point. They cycle to the high slot. Now they're in. They send a shot in on Bricker. He's able to fight that one off with the shoulder, and it comes to Pizarro, who works that puck up and out of the zone. Peconic takes over in the neutral zone. They're at their own blue line as Peconic. Try and work that in the offensive end. Puck rolls all the way to the end line. Must have been touched up by someone as Koslewski tries to jam that farther and out of the zone. Peconic keeps the zone in the high slot. They dance around 1 man and 2. They're on the backhand looking for that slot pass, but it's cut out there by Koslewski. And with 3:15 left to go as the clock continues to tick, it's just 40 seconds left to go on the kill. Shot comes over to Peconic. A wonderful save there by Bricker. Keeps this a 1-goal game as that puck rolled in what looked to be a harmless fashion into the slot, but found a Peconic stick about 10 feet from goal. Now Pizarro comes in, and we're going to get a whistle at 3 minutes even left to go in this game. Looks to be for an offside on the Raiders as they try and break into the offensive end. Still 28 seconds left to kill on that Peconic power play for the Raiders. Raiders get their 4 skaters on the ice. Looks like it's going to be Fauci, Samosi, Tanoff, and Koslewski. Samosi over the near dot here, just outside the offensive zone. He wins that forward to try and kill more of the penalty. And Peconic waits, and they work at point to point to try and set up their power play. Instead, it's cut out initially by Fauci, and then Peconic turns and gets it through the neutral zone only so far as Samosi. Samosi on the puck. He dangles around his man. He's on the backhand, looking to work that puck up farther. He does through the neutral zone, but without possession. Cut out there by Fauci. Again, with 2:38 left to go, Peconic has to recoil and send that puck all the way in on a dump and chase with just 1 second left to go on their power play. We're back to 5-on-5 skating here for the Raiders. Raiders looking to work this out of the zone. Peconic trying to send a pass into the slot. Peconic still working hard in the near corner. Puck comes up, though, to the near point, and now Marchuka has a mini breakaway. Marchuka on a full break. He's in all alone on the Peconic goaltender. He goes up and over the leg pad of the Peconic goaltender, and that's a Raiders goal on the break. Well, with 2:14 left to go, that's a Raiders goal, and they've reestablished their 2-goal lead. It's Raiders 6, Peconic 4. Well, ensuing faceoff's going to be Marchuka, Fauci, Samosi, Steinfink, and Gosler. Marchuka tries to win that forward. Peconic comes away with it momentarily, and then Gosler uses the glass right in front of us to bank that up to Marchuka. Marchuka now buzzing. He's into the slot. Shot just cut out barely by Peconic, but Marchuka takes over again. He's got Fauci. Fauci looks, get onto the forehand. He's back on the forehand. He sends a shot just wide of the cage. Peconic will take over again at the far half wall. They steam out of their zone, but only so far as Nate Steinfink again cuts out the threat there in the neutral zone, at least momentarily. Peconic now all the way into the zone. Samosi with a big hit on his man at the blue line. It's 1:41 left to go. Peconic still in. They send a shot in on Bricker. He saves it nicely, and then the Raiders try and work that up and out of the zone. They do. They make it to the near point, but not past the blue line just yet. We will get a touch-up call here, though. Looks like it's going to be a penalty. Touch-up is what stopped the clock at 1:29 left to go here in the third period. Well, Raiders back to the box. Have a 2-goal lead, and there's 89 seconds left to go in this one. Ensuing faceoff's going to be in the defensive zone for the Raiders. Looks like it's going to be Berliner, Marchuka, Tanoff, and Gosler. Well, ensuing faceoff comes up to the point for Peconic. They try and set a shot in. Goes just wide of the cage after hitting a body in front. I think Bricker might have gotten a piece of that one as well. 80 seconds left to go here as Marchuka takes the puck out of the defensive end. He's through the neutral zone, tries to work the puck in deeper. Instead, Peconic turns around the other way. Peconic still on the puck, sends a shot in. Again, gloved down by Bricker, but he drops it off to his left. Try and keep this clock rolling. Now the puck comes up to the near point. Peconic turns it around, tries that slot pass again. They pick it up in the low slot. They're in on Bricker. Bricker makes one save, but can't make the second after the rebound. And Peconic is right back in this one after a wonderful save by Bricker. Unable to get all the way over to the other post as the rebound just came right to a Peconic stick. And so with 55.7 seconds left to go, Peconic back to within a goal. It's Raiders 6, Peconic 5.
Guys, let's go, man.
Ensuing faceoff, one forward by Marchuka. Peconic takes over possession. They chip up the boards and into the offensive zone. Peconic now trying to get a shot in on Bricker. Instead, it's turned at the near half wall all the way to the far half wall. Peconic dumps that in deeper. It's an empty net for Peconic now. 40 seconds left to go as they work around the side of the cage. Try and come in front. Puck comes in on Bricker. He makes one save. Still sitting in the creases. He's all the way down. Puck sits there. There's a huge scramble in front of the net. We get a whistle. No signal yet. No safe sign or point yet by the referee. But the puck stayed out. Wonderful strength there by Jason Bricker to keep that puck out of the back of the net. 29.6 seconds left to go in this one after that goal mouth scramble. It's going to be a defensive zone draw here for the Raiders. They'll look to get this puck out of the zone as quickly as they possibly can. Puck now sent cross ice through the slot. Still an empty net for Peconic. Peconic works that to the end boards. 21 seconds left to go. Raiders just need to get this out of the zone. Peconic now weak side looking for a pass up to the point. Shot comes in. Snapshot goes wide of the cage. Peconic will have to collect. 12 seconds left to go in this one. Peconic with the slap shot in. Hits a body in front. Still loose. Goes wide of the cage. 5 seconds left to go. Peconic calling for the puck. Trying to send a shot in on goal. 2 seconds. Now 1. That'll do it, folks. The Raiders are going to survive this one right at the very end. It's Raiders 6, Peconic 5 as they pull this one out in East Hampton, New York. Thank you, everyone, so much for joining us on this early morning, all the way out on the edge of Long Island. And a reminder, stick around this evening's game at 4:45 as the Cyclones take on Beaver Dam. Until then, stay safe.